Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a final baseball game in the Flathead Valley in the year of 2022. It has been an absolute pleasure bringing you games all season from this beautiful brand new ballpark, and it'll be exciting to bring you game number 48 live from Flathead Field. My name is Scott Gladstone. Today, the Glacier Range Riders play host to the Great Falls Voyagers. Range Riders are 37-53 overall. The Voyagers come in with a record at exactly 500. They are 45-45. Last night, it was eventful in all the right ways for one team and all the wrong ways for the Great Falls Voyagers, the other squad. As the Glacier Range Riders sprinted out to a 4-0 lead, they cranked it up to 8-0. Next thing you know, it was 10-0 and only 3 hits across on the entire evening for the visiting Great Falls Voyagers. Not only was it just a loss, but it was also the fatal loss on the season for the Great Falls Voyagers. Loss number 45 was their tragic number, which meant that Billings booked their tickets to the playoffs, and the Great Falls Voyagers, like the Glacier Range Riders, will finish this season without a trophy in their hands. Playing for the fun of the game here, the love of the game, the fun of the game, whatever you want to call it. That's what we're playing for here at Flathead Field, and we're going to be playing it in front of what is expected to be another record-breaking crowd here at the most beautiful ballpark in America, the most beautiful place in America. Let me go over the starting lineups for this contest just to give you a little bit of a primo on what you should expect to see here from Flathead Field. Only have a handful of you tuned in, but we will roll through it again. And for those who are listening to me now, you'll just have to do the starting lineup one more time, which I'm sure you won't complain too much about, in case you're still finishing up making dinner or eating dinner or, playing a game of dice. I don't know what you do while you're waiting for Range Riders or Voyagers baseball. But let me tell you the starting lineup. For the home side Glacier Range Riders, it's Ryan Cash leading off. Brant Broussard bats second. Dean Miller third. Brody Wofford fourth. Eddie McCabe fifth. Ben McConnell sixth. The bottom three is the only change around that we saw from last night. Instead of Sims, Cole, Dennison, it will be Cole, Dennison, and Bates. The starting pitcher for tonight for the Glacier Range Riders is Kevin Kyle. On the other side, Colin Runge leads off. He's the designated hitter. Jake Malik, the center fielder, bats second. Braden Daniel, third, playing left field. Batting fourth is Michael Deeb. He's the first baseman. Charlie Hesse gets the spot at the 5 position as well as the 5 spot, third baseman. Chino de Guzman bats sixth. He's the shortstop. Simmons will bat seventh. He's in right field. Polanco, the catcher, bats eighth. And Fernando Loera, the second baseman, will be the man that plays out of the 9-hole. The starting pitcher tonight for the Great Falls Voyagers is number 25, Quincy Jones. Quincy Jones, a returner from last year, originally from Southfield, Michigan. And he brings the height to the mound. The tallest pitcher for the Great Falls Voyagers, 6'6", 220 pounds. The southpaw, that will turn 26 later this year, takes to the bump for the Great Falls Voyagers. I'm going to turn you over to Tony Hernandez, our PA announcer. He's going to take you through the starting lineup for the Glacier Range Riders one more time so you can feel the energy from the crowd as we go through it. So feel free to listen in.
Number 5. The second baseman from Plano, Texas, Ryan Cash. Batting second. Number 1, the left fielder from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Brant Broussard. Batting third. Number 30, the third baseman from Riverside, California, Dean Miller. Batting fourth, number 24, the first baseman from Rome, Georgia, Brody Wofford. Batting fifth, number 7, the designated hitter from Norwalk, Connecticut, Eddie McCabe. Batting sixth, number 2, the center fielder from Portland, Texas, Ben McConnell. Hitting in the 7th slot, number 17, playing right field from San Ramon, California, Ryan Cole. Batting 8, number 23, the shortstop from Naples, Florida, Mason Dennison. And batting 9, number 4, the catcher from Ossining, New York, Austin Bates. The manager, number 13, Nick Hogan. Bench coach, number 6, Stu Peterson. And pitching coach, number 34, Mike Spears. Please rise if you are able and remove your hats. And tonight we invite all of you to sing along, and I will even try to help us get started. By the dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave?
Tony Hernandez singing the national anthem, joined by the rest of the Glacier Range Rider faithful that have made their way into Flathead Field. Game 48 on the season, game number 91 for the Range Riders in their inaugural season, the final time where the Flathead faithful will get a chance to see the Range Riders repping their home white jerseys. With green lettering, you see Kevin Kyle making his final adjustments before he gets rolling here in what is seen to be as his final start of this 2022 season. For Kevin Kyle, his season has been one of up and down. He finished his collegiate season early due to injury, and then he had a delayed start to this year. Struggled mightily in the early going, especially in his 3 bullpen appearances, and then finally started to find a rhythm, and he's had some rougher outings. He's had some outings where his pitch count has gone up a little bit too high, but all said and done, he received his first professional win in the past couple weeks. He is 1-4, a 7.28 ERA. This is his 14th appearance, his 11th start. He has 47 innings pitched and a strikeout to walk ratio of 42-33. That is where he has been stung in the past, is when those walks become a little bit too much. But we'll see what he can deliver to this nearly standing room only crowd making their way into Flathead Field. Watching the line develop before, I can tell you what, it was a line that nearly went through and across the parking lot that was waiting for gates to open at 6:05. A lot of amazing fans here that were here early. They got treated to being able to see the Range Riders closer, Justin Coleman, as well as Range Riders power hitter, who has been hampered with an injury that's kept him out of the past couple weeks for the most part, Livingston Morris. Those two were signing autographs and greeting the fans coming in. And obviously you might have tuned in and seen beforehand the Range Riders host families who were honored. They were given flowers as well as signed team bats from this 2022 inaugural season. One more play ball from the fans. We are underway here at Flathead Field. Again, game 48 with Colin Runge leading off. Kevin Kyle will throw pitch number 1 in game 48. The right-hander out of Elk Grove, California, sets to fire. Foul ball gets us underway. It is 82 degrees and sunny here in Kalispell, Montana. 7:04 p.m. is our first pitch, per usual, just on a minute early, as we have been itching to play this game. That's another swung on foul ball. Count goes to 0-2. A big factor in Kevin Kyle's outings, is he going to get the low strike calls right near the knees of the batter? That has been able to make or break some of his outings. When he gets those calls, he can really cruise. 0-2. Swung on. It's a foul ball. Runge, 3 straight foul balls to start us off. He stays at 0-2. Rest of the lineup one more time for the Great Falls Voyagers. Malik bats second. Braden Daniel bats third. Deeb fourth. Hesse fifth. De Guzman sixth. And the bottom 3 are Simmons, Polanco, and Fernando Loera. Misses off the plate. Count goes to 1-2. Runge on the season missed the Monday game, as he lifts this one to shallow center field. Cash backs up, and he cannot make the play on it. It will be a single from Colin Runge, as you're not going to expect Ryan Cash to make that play. Just put it into no man's land, and the Texas leaguer gets right over the Texas native second baseman's head for a base hit to start off this contest. Runge continues to be near the top of this team in terms of his batting acumen. That should have pushed his ERA, his batting average right to 300, as he was at 299 before that. Got to think he's at least at 300 or over with the base knock. Now Jake Malik steps in. Malik, left-hander versus the righty, squares to bunt, but he pulls back. Count goes to 1-0. Again, a reminder of the stakes at play right now. It's pretty much just for bragging rights. Obviously, there is an off-season draft of sorts, which is a tryout that, depending on the inverse final standings orders, if we get a pick down to first, no tag's going to be applied. Count goes to 2-0 after that ball misses. The inverse of the standings will slightly rearrange what these guys get to pick in that off-season draft. But right now, the Range Riders sitting tied for third to last in the league at a 37-53 mark on the season. Pickoff attempt over to first, unsuccessful. We're going to see 2-0 in a second here, but we'll have to wait a little bit longer. On the season, Great Falls comes in 45 wins, 45 losses in this 2022 campaign for the guys from the Electric City. Swing and a miss. Count goes to 2-1 for Jake Malik. Every time I've seen him, he's been sporting a solid mustache, one of the best in the league, I think. He put some effort into making sure that mustache is the class of the PBL. 2-1. Called the ball by our home plate umpire, Eric Martinez. First base umpires Mike Carr. Willie Stacy calls the calls. Safes, outs, fair, foul, all that stuff over at third base. Right now, you can see him positioned closer to second on the right side of second base there. 3-1. Hitters count coming in. Ball 4. Leadoff batters both get aboard here to start this contest. A base hit from Runge and Malik with a 5-pitch walk. Brings up the dangerous Braden Daniel. This is a Voyagers offense that's got to be mad in more than one way. First of all, not being able to find a way to cross anybody across home last night. I'm sure that was frustrating for a team that has been solid offensively all year. And at the same time, obviously, Glacier ran away with that contest and eliminated them from the playoffs. I wouldn't be too happy about that either. Runners on first and second, no outs. And Brody Wofford's going to come over. Brody Wofford's having some sort of issue with his glove. I'm going to see if he's going to get a new one or what the deal is going to be. Let me go over the defense while we're talking about some defensive equipment malfunctions. Austin Bates is behind the plate. Dean Miller is over at third base. He starts at third for the second straight time. Mason Dennison is the shortstop. Ryan Cash is at second base. Brody Wofford, the man trying to get his first base glove figured out, is at first base. Designated hitter today is Eddie McCabe. Brant Broussard's in left field. Ben McConnell's in center field. And Ryan Cole, the former Notre Dame man, is the right fielder. Here's a look inside the dugout right now as Brody Wofford is picking up a bunch of gloves, trying to figure out exactly what he needs. Found somebody's glove. We'll see if Kevin Kyle takes any warm-up pitches after that brief delay. Doesn't look like he wants any. Brody Wofford, one of a handful of Georgia Gwinnett Grizzlies on this field. Austin Bates behind the plate, Georgia Gwinnett grad, as well as Kevin Kyle, the man who just threw that pitch into the zone for a called strike. Count goes to 0-1 on Braden Daniel. Daniel on the season, he's batting .327, got 11 home runs and 52 RBIs. 10-0 shutout for the Glacier Range Riders last night over Great Falls. Daniel, like pretty much everybody else in the lineup, struggled offensively and was a big part of not being able to get a run across. And you got to think that he feels the weight on his shoulders and wants to come out and make a splash here early. Runners on first and seconds, no outs. He has a chance to do that. Called strike. Count goes to 1-2. Feel like since Runge's opening bat, barely seen a batter take the bat off his shoulder. It was Runge the single to center. Malik looked at 4 pitches for the 4 balls, and the only one he swung and missed on 2-0. That's a swung and a foul tip, and Austin Bates mad at himself because he couldn't handle that one. Count stays at 1-2. It was Jake Malik that was at the point of controversy last night when he swung on, and he said he foul tipped. The home plate umpire said there was no contact from the bat, said he struck out. Tommy Thompson and Jake Malik both unhappy with the call. A handful of calls were disagreed upon, specifically from Great Falls last night. The 1-2 with no outs, runners on first and second. Foul ball. We're already seeing some peskiness from the batters for Great Falls in terms of staying alive on 2-strike counts. Runge did it. Malik didn't have to do it, but Daniel has at least done it twice, fouling off two two-strike pitches. Kyle sets, trying to find a punch out. It will not be that. This is fielded by Wofford, thrown to Cash, no throw back to first. So it's just a fielder's choice at second base. And runners will now be on the corners with 1 out. Smart play from Brody Wofford. Get at least the lead runner there in Malik. Runge is at third. Daniel is at first. There's always going to be hard to try and get Braden Daniel with the speed that he's got. See it hit over to Wofford there. Wofford field and threw to second. By the time he got to second, Daniel basically already beat out Kevin Kyle on the run over to first. That is such a difficult play for both the thrower and the catcher to make, trying to pull off a 3-6-1 double play. Instead, up comes Michael Deeb to see the first pitch missing low and inside. Count goes to 1-0 on Deeb. 77-mile-per-hour off-speed pitch from Kevin Kyle there. 1-0. Runners on first and third. I think Daniel's going to be going pretty soon here, as he does not want to be in a bad spot for a possible double play to end the inning. That one The call does not go the way of Kevin Kyle. And like I said, those calls right on that lower part of the zone, they make the difference for Kevin Kyle, and he's not getting it in the early going. Way more balls than strikes thrown by Kyle. Swung on and missed. Great pitch to get a 0 out of the strike column. Count goes to 2-1. I said way more balls than strikes, but he's actually thrown more strikes. Problem is there's been a lot of those strikes that technically go down as strikes, but they're actually foul balls. 2-1, 1 out here in the top of the first. Runners on the corners. Runner is going. It will be swung on and torched well to right field. It's foul. It is a foul ball. Oh, my word. That one was awfully close at being at least 2 runs. Just tucked foul. It went 333 feet off the wall, but just to the right of the yellow line. That represents fair and foul. Wow. Ahead of that one, but he launched it 95 miles per hour off the bat. What can he do with a 2-2 pitch now? Runners still on the corners. Daniel was going on that last pitch. We'll see if he gets a jump here. He does not, and it's a swing and a miss. A couple feet from a 2 RBI triple, I think it might have been. Instead, a game of inches. And it was a few inches away from making contact with that ball for Deeb. He ends up swinging and missing for a crucial out number 2. Now a sacrifice will not get the job done. It needs to be a hit or at least a walk maybe to stay alive in this inning for Charlie Hesse. Hesse stepping in, a 286 batting average. This is just his 9th game played. First pitch, swung on and missed. Kevin Kyle's thrown 22 pitches in this inning, has wavered a touch, but is close to getting out of it unscathed. How does he deal with Hesse? The 0-1 with 2 outs, runners on the corners. In the dirt, blocked by Bates. Bates goes down to get it. And a good job by Austin Bates to limit Daniel, the speedy Daniel, from trying to run to second. Daniel retreats to first base. It stays runners on the corners with 2 outs. Bates knew that if he just got that chest protector in front of it and kept it within reach of home plate, that no way Runge was going to try and gamble from third. 1-1 with 2 outs, runners on the corners. 0-0 game as we stand. Called strike. 84 miles per hour in the zone. Count goes to 1-2 for Hesse. North Dakota State Bison, is behind with 2 outs, no wiggle room for him. Runge waiting on third base. Led this game off with a single. Will he be stranded or will he find his way home? 1-2, 2 outs. Daniel's going. Foul ball. Daniel will jog back. For those of you, whether you're Great Falls Voyagers fans or Glacier Range Riders fans or parents, maybe a parent of a team next year, a team member next year, you will tune in a few months, it seems, and see a much more completed ballpark, as you can see in this shot, the unfinished home clubhouse behind the left field foul area. That one hit the rib cage of Charlie Hesse, and he's bailed out of a 1-2 count with a hit by pitch. That means Daniel moves to second, Hesse moves to first. Runge stays at third base. And Chino de Guzman, the switch hitter out of Puerto Rico. In his rookie season from Alabama State University, same college as the starting pitcher last night for the Great Falls Voyagers, Breon Pooler. A huge bases-loaded situation in the early going for de Guzman. First pitch, misses off the plate. Just a little bit outside at 75 miles per hour. Count goes to 1-0. That one also misses. It's now 2-0. First pitch strike percentage is 60% from Kevin Kyle right now. Not as bad as it could be, or maybe how it feels. Waiting on third is Colin Runge. Everybody will be going on contact. None is made there. A swing and a miss. Count goes to 2-1. A great crowd making their way into the stadium. Not a lot of empty seats I'm seeing out there. 2-1, 2 outs, bases loaded. Top of the first. Excitement in the early going. Foul ball. It's 2-2. 30 pitches now thrown from Kevin Kyle, who has been made to work in the early going. 2-2, 2 outs. De Guzman on the season, batting .268. He's got 5 home runs, 26 RBIs. He does have a home run in this very ballpark. Pitch coming in. Swung on and missed. Kevin Kyle allows the bases to be loaded, but he is out of the jam. It's still zeros. We head to the bottom of the first. Back here, we're in the bottom of the first inning. Due up for the Glacier Range Riders is Cash, Broussard, and Miller. The rest of the lineup looks like this. Brody Wofford, Eddie McCabe, Ben McConnell are the middle three. The bottom three, Ryan Cole, Mason Dennison, and the catcher, Austin Bates. Starting pitcher for the Billings Mustangs tonight, the lanky southpaw, 6'6" Quincy Jones, left-hander out of Southfield, Michigan. Quincy Jones, somebody that I've talked about recently, but more for the fact that he picked up a bat the last time these two teams played. Got his second at-bat of the season. He's originally from Southfield, Michigan. Played his college ball at a myriad of places: Heartland Community College, Saginaw Valley State, Southern University A&M, and William Woods. William Woods is where he finished off his pitching career with an 0-3 record, of .485 ERA in 7 appearances. First pitch is swinging and a foul ball from Ryan Cash, who gets to bat with his natural right hand for the first time. First time up, at least. Good amount of lefties in the bullpen and on this pitching staff for the Great Falls Voyagers. This one swung on, hit to third, fielded, and thrown across the diamond successfully by Charlie Hesse for out number 1. Let's go over the defensive alignment for these Great Falls Voyagers. Catching the balls and strikes will be Lucas Polanco, Charlie Hesse over at third, who just made that play. Christopher de Guzman or Chino de Guzman, the shortstop. Fernando Loera, the second baseman. Michael Thiebe plays over at first. Braden Daniels in left field. Jake Malix in center. And Aaron Simmons rounds out the 9 outfielders. The 9 defenders. The 3 outfielders. First pitch to the former LSU Tiger, Brant Broussard. Misses low and inside. Count goes to 1-0. Of course, Broussard, like most of these players that have been here since day one, I'd say all the players that have been here since day one, a fan favorite, well known, often called by some the Ragin' Cajun, partially correct because of his roots from the Cajun state, Louisiana, but incorrectly as well, as UL Lafayette is a little brother of LSU in most regards. Pitch misses up high to Brant Broussard. A fairly great height disparity between the two. Broussard stands 5'10", and the left-hander Quincy Jones, already mentioned, he's 6'6". Count goes to 3-1. Still not the biggest difference that we've seen in height. Austin Steinfort, 6'9", and David Kiriakou, about 5'9". They did a post-game interview together. You can scroll back on the social media for the Glacier Range Riders long enough and see that, because that is something. 3-2 is the count now. 1 out here in the bottom of the first. (3-2). Payoff pitch coming in from Jones to Broussard. Misses low, and Broussard, ever steady with the on-base percentage, finds his way on via the Annie Oakley. And we have 1 on with 1 out as Dean Miller steps up to the plate. Brant Broussard is on-base percentage sitting right at .377 this season. Ryan Cash is the only active player that's above 400 in the on-base percentage part. I guess Noah Marcello's at 500 with his on-base percentage. 4 hits in 11 at-bats. First pitch to Dean Miller. He swings on that one. It's carrying out to left field. Backing up. There will be no play. It just goes over the outfielder Braden Daniels' glove. It's a home run. Oh, no, it isn't. No, it isn't. That one went 363 feet. That one hit the netting over the scoreboard. Nick Hogan is having a field day right now on our third base umpire, Willie Stacy. That one looked to me like it went over the glove of Braden Daniel and hit the netting that we have to protect the scoreboard out there, and the netting rebounded it back into play. This is not the first time between these two sides that we've seen a ball come back into play that seemingly was a home run. Colin Runge did it in the home run derby. Problem was there was no outfielder in front of it to make it seem like it came back, and it is a home run. It is a home run. All right, well, 363 feet, 92 miles per hour off the bat. And all's well that ends well. A 2-run blast from Dean Miller on the first pitch. And now Tommy Thompson is giving an earful to the umpires because he's saying, how can you overturn that if you thought you saw it one way? Goodbye baseball, welcome back baseball, and goodbye baseball again. That's the best way I can tell you how that happened. Tommy Thompson is still arguing with the umpires. We'll see if we can get a shot of it somewhere here. These umpires have heard a fair amount of arguing from both of these coaches this year. And Yeah, this game is no different than the first two games in the series. It was Nick Hogan that nearly got ejected at least once on a controversial call at third base on Monday night. Last night, I mentioned that swing and a miss from Jake Malik that he thought he foul tipped. That involves some arguing. There was also a close play at second on a double play last night that nearly had Tommy Thompson lose his top. And yeah, baseball coaching and baseball umping is not for the faint of heart. Ball misses there. Count goes to 2-0 for Brody Wofford. A two-run blast from Dean Miller makes it 2-0 here in the bottom of the first. The Range Riders for the second straight game strike first. This is a foul ball that nearly takes off a Voyager's head. Count goes to 2-1. There's a called strike, I believe. Count goes to 2-2. I'd like to remind you that Range Riders home run is presented by Hidden Homes Montana. Don't forget Hidden Homes Montana and Keller Williams Realty, as this one is carried to first base and nabbed by the first baseman, Michael Deeb. Line out to the first baseman is good for out number 2. Don't forget Hidden Homes Montana, Keller Williams Realty are making a donation to the Abbey Shelter of Northwest Montana for every home run hit by your Glacier Range Riders at Flathead Field this homestand. It would have been an RBI double as it stood, and the reason when I realized that the umpires didn't actually signal that one a home run was because Brandon Broussard was on his high horse getting home, and I was saying, wait, what? Don't need to get home that quickly. But you do when they say that it got up and out, or up and into the park, stayed in the park. It was, I think what the third base umpire, Willie Stacy, saw was that it hit off of Daniel's glove and back into play, which you can do that technically in the same way where you can hit it off your glove and out of play. As soon as it hits the wall, it's dead, though. And as soon as it hits the netting over the wall, it's dead. There's a foul ball from Eddie McCabe. Count is 2-2 on the former Great Falls Voyager, who fully identifies as a Range Rider now. He has been healthily immersed into this squad. 2-2 with 2 outs. The pitch coming in. Swung on, hit on the ground. It's going to be a foul ball. Thought that was fairly close to being fair, but seemingly McCabe and Hesse both kind of had a gentleman's agreement that neither of them were going to try and make a play too hard, and they're just going to let the umpires call it foul. Count stays at 2-2. For Dean Miller, that home run marks his 15th of the season. He's second on the squad, behind only Brody Wofford, who's got 20. Misses. Count goes to 3-2. Brant Broussard, of course, along for the ride on that 2-run blast from Dean Miller. For Quincy Jones on the season, that is his 12th home run given up. Ball 4. Didn't miss by much. Up comes Ben McConnell, one of the speediest guys in the Pioneer Baseball League. 42 stolen bases, got one last night, been caught just 8 times on the season. First pitch into Ben McConnell from Quincy Jones in the lefty-lefty matchup. It's a foul ball. Count goes to 0-1. Ryan Cole, a nice bare hand play in the on-deck circle. Count goes to 0-1. 2 outs. Runner on first is Eddie McCabe for Ben McConnell at the plate. Swung on up the middle. A hot shot fielded well by Fernando Loera. He flips to de Guzman for out number 3. But that is a first inning won by the Glacier Range Riders. A 2-run shot that took some time to figure out, but it ended up as an official home run on Dean Miller's resume. We head to the second inning. It is 2-0 Glacier. Back here, we're in the top of the second. In this half inning, we're going to see 7, 8, 9 at least for the Great Falls Voyagers. Aaron Simmons, Lucas Polanco, and Fernando Loera. Simmons coming in on the season, a mid-season pickup by these Great Falls Voyagers. He's batted .240 with 1 home run and 7 RBIs. This one's torched into right field. One hops off the glove of Ryan Cole, but Cole fairly quickly to it to make sure that Simmons can't go any further than first base. It's a leadoff single on the first pitch from Aaron Simmons, and now Lucas Polanco will step up. Polanco, right-hander, 6'2", 205 pounds, out of University of Texas Tyler, the same school that Riley Jepson, the former Voyager that had a close to MVP caliber season before he was signed by the Chicago White Sox organization, attended. Simmons on first. First pitch in the zone to Lucas Polanco. Count goes to 0-1 on the Voyagers catcher. Lucas Polanco on the season. He's batting .189. He's got 2 home runs and 13 RBIs. 0-1 with no outs and a runner on first. Misses low and in. Count goes to 1-1. Catcher has been a point of struggle this year for the Great Falls Voyagers. Same with the Glacier Range Riders. With sort of a revolving door, especially with Nick Emanuel struggling with injury. And he's been a great addition on the roster in terms of his coaching ability, but he has not been able to kind of fully figure it out, as this one is hit to shallow right. Fielded by Ryan Cole out there on the edge of the sunlight peeking through, and a pop out to right field is good for out number 1. Will Olson, the other catcher, had his debut here at Flathead Field, and it was a marvelous debut. He had at least 2 doubles, I think. But he has kind of been up and down. He's batting .248, and like I said, Lucas Polanco, .189. When Emmanuel's healthy, he's been great, but he's only been healthy for 12 games this season, batting .349 in those 12 times we've seen him. This one's hit to short, fielded by Dennison. The throw for 1, the throw for 2, safe at first. Just a 6'4 fielder's choice. Fernando Loera burns rubber down the line to beat out a 6-4-3 double play. Lead runner Simmons, though, is off the base paths now, and we'll flip over the lineup card for the first time tonight for the Great Falls Voyagers. See Colin Runge, who's 1 for 1 with that Texas League single. Loera now on first. What can he do on the base paths? He will not run here. It'll be hit over to third, fielded by Dean Miller, but it's foul. Count goes 0-1 on Runge, who has seen 4 pitches now. And all 4 have been strikes technically, but he's made contact with all 4. I think. 0-1 with 2 outs and a runner on first. Swung on, hit weakly down the left field line. And it ends up in the foundation. You see it one hop there behind the concrete wall that ain't nobody climbing to try and knock down. Count goes to 0-2. Like I said, I cannot wait until you fans get to join us on the broadcast next year or in person if you get the chance to make it out here. It is going to be even better than it is right now, and it's just amazing right now. There's going to be a party porch. I mean, the clubhouses are going to be incredible. And one of the things I'm most excited for, the restaurant right next to my booth here. I might have already talked about it on broadcast before, but I got to get the hookup. Talk to the right people. Make sure that I'm trying everything on that menu. Count goes to 0-2. Pickoff attempt down to first base. Snap throw is unsuccessful. Count goes to 1-2. Make sure to tune in if you're a Range Riders fan or if you're a Voyagers fan that's interested in Pioneer League Baseball. You got to stay locked on the Range Riders social media throughout the offseason, all the updates from around the park, through the cold and what will be a boring winter will be posted on there. Count goes to 2-2 as Kevin Kyle's 40th pitch misses low. Kyle sets to fire. Loera still steady at first. That's a swing and a miss. And it will be a tag of Runge for out number 3. Kevin Kyle gets a strikeout to finish off the inning. Battles well after a leadoff base hit. We head to the bottom of the second, 2-0. Glacier leads. First pitch in there to Ryan Cole. Hits up high. It's a called strike. Count goes to 0-1. Sorry about jumping on here a little bit late. You know how it is. Sometimes technology doesn't work and got to come in and figure it out and how to make it work. Count goes to 1-1 after that one misses. Swung on, hit on the ground, over to third, fielded by Hesse. Hesse throws, and it's on target and in time for out number 1.
Batting eighth in the order, number 23, shortstop, Mason Dennison.
Up comes Mason Dennison now. Dennison on the night. This is his first at-bat, batting out of the 8 spot. We're seeing 7, 8, 9. Cole, Dennison, and Austin Bates. This one's high in the sky, popped down the right field line, called off in favor of the second baseman. Loera was deep. Loera makes the grab. Pop up to second is good for out number 2. Now Austin Bates steps in. Bates on the season is batting 167. This is his 20th appearance. Rookie out of Georgia Gwinnett. Final batter to step up to the plate for the Glacier Range Riders. First pitch, call the ball. Count goes to 1-0. Two outs, bases empty for Bates. Hit weakly down the third base line, fielded by Hesse. Hesse throws, and another great play by the Great Falls third baseman. It's a 1-2-3 inning, and it's only 6 pitches thrown from Quincy Jones. We'll be right back for a 2-0 ball game in the top of the third. It's 29 pitches thrown from Quincy Jones, and though he has 2 runs against him, he is far inferior in terms of the pitch count. Kevin Kyle's up to 41. We'll see if he can rein it in, get through this inning quicker than he got through the second even, which went a lot better than the first for him. 10 pitches in the second inning compared to 31 in that first frame where Kevin Kyle got a huge strikeout with the bases loaded. First pitch comes in and misses on the inside. Count goes to 1-0. Dean Miller has made the sole difference in this contest with his 2-run shot over the left field fence. Just barely got out of the park. Check swing in the zone, a called strike. Jake Malik, his first time up, he walked and was stranded at second base. That one misses. Count goes to 2-1. Actually, he wasn't stranded there at second base. He was thrown out on a fielder's choice heading to second base. That was that Braden Daniel hit over to Brody Wofford at first, who threw it to second. 2-1. Misses up high. Count goes to 3-1. No outs. And it will be a walk. Lead off this inning with a base on balls. Now what you want to do against the speedster in Malik, center fielder for the Great Falls Voyagers. But it'll be the way that it happens nonetheless. Up comes Braden Daniel now. Braden Daniel, the Oklahoma native, playing in his second year with the Great Falls Voyagers out of the University of Oklahoma. Gonna have to double check the college football schedule, see who the Sooners got this weekend, as we're halfway through this week, starting to think about college football. My mind is heavy on the NFL, which starts tomorrow. Swung on, that's a foul ball. Count goes to 0-1. Well, let's pull it up. The Oklahoma Sooners play on Saturday against Kent State. Swung on, a line drive to Ryan Cash and thrown to first. It's a double play from Ryan Cash to Brody Wofford. How about it? 360 no scope to the first baseman Wofford, and that is just an everyday occurrence for Mr. Ryan Cash. Take another look at it on our replay here if you missed it. The rifle off the bat, caught it 360. Make it look easy, Mr. Money. First pitch into Deeb, misses on the inside. Now 2 outs and nobody on here in the top of the third as the defense continues the tear that they started last night, just playing out of their mind, making play after play. That one also misses. Count goes to 2-0. Brody Wofford over at first. The only defensive changes were Brody Wofford now playing first, where Eddie McCabe was the first baseman last night. Foul ball makes it 2-1. Wonder if he got that glove figured out. That looks like maybe the original glove he might have had. That was more tan. I think he went back and got a darker glove to finish off that first inning. Ended up doing the trick. You notice the camera's moving a little bit. That's because this has been windy all day here. And a lot of smoke has made its way into the Flathead Valley. An average occurrence at this time of the year in the state of Montana. There's a check swing. Ooh, I thought he went.
Number 13.
Third base umpire disagreed, said that he did not go. Willie Stacy put his hands to the side and said no go, and a walk for Deeb will put him on first with Charlie Hesse coming up. Hesse 0 for 0. He got plunked by a pitch to load the bases in the first inning. Like I said, Kent State playing Oklahoma, Braden Daniels' alma mater, as well as Brad Demko, the Glacier Range Riders nemesis a few nights ago, and every once in a while when he takes to the mound in a relief role, Demko. That one misses on the inside to Hesse. Kent State in their opening week got tuned up pretty good by the University of Washington Huskies, my favorite football team, partially because just a great squad, but also because my father attended the University of Washington, played football for him. Check swing right back to Kyle. Kyle fields, Kyle throws, and he will deliver out number 3 here in the top of the third. Comebacker 1-3 ground out, and we head to the bottom of the third, 2-0. Glacier leads Great Falls. Packed house here at Glacier Range Riders Ballpark, also known as Flathead Field. Look at that. Hard to find an empty seat in the house for sure. It is seemingly standing room only here, as I'm seeing just as many folks standing as sitting, because there's 2,500 seats here. As this one's hit, it's bounced off of Quincy Jones's glove, fielded, but no play will be made. That's a tough one to go against 6'6" Quincy Jones, who nearly nabbed that one out of the air and was able to make the play, but it just doinks far enough over him. See it come back off the glove, and he thought he would find a way to grab it. No chance for Loera to come down and make the play. So a leadoff single from Ryan Cash. He's on first with nobody gone in the bottom of the third. Cash goes to 1 for 2 on the night. Now the Raging Cajun, who walked his first time up, steps in. Brant Broussard, first pitch misses low. Count goes to 1-0. Like I said, a seating capacity of 2,500 here. And so far this season, I believe it's been 100 general admission tickets available, which are $10. For most kids, it's $7, active duty, military, and their families are $8. There's a called strike. Count goes to 2-1. Those GA tickets, a big part of bringing family-friendly, affordable, professional sports to this valley, a goal that has been instilled in this organization since day one. Swung on by Broussard. It's a high fly ball. The crowd likes it, but they don't have the same read that I do. As it looked pretty routine for Malik, and it was in center field.
Number 30, third baseman, Dean Miller.
In lacrosse as well as hockey, and I don't want to offend anybody out there, but there is what we call, what those call a mom goal. It's also in hockey, soccer, lacrosse, those goal sports. What's called a mom goal, when it hits the side of the netting and you see that kind of swish of the netting rather than the actual ball go in the net or the goal. And I think the hit that Brant Broussard just had, that is what you call a mom home run right there. And you know, again, not an offense to the moms out there. There's plenty of dads that have the same feeling as this one. Misses inside. It's a stolen base from Ryan Cash. He's on second now. No throw from Polanco behind the plate. But it's you know, a big part of that is because I feel like moms are the most passionate. They're the most vocal. They're waiting to cheer on their sons or their daughters if you're talking about a women's sport. And, you know, they're the first to react, the first to kind of light up. And, you know, sometimes you're itching to do that and you itch a little bit too hard. And, you know, so there is some shade thrown for being the most energetic. But I'll tell you what, my mom's actually at the game tonight. And I know, as many of these players on the field know, how important it is to have good parental support, whether you score or whether you're not. And, yeah, I'm sure that Brant Broussard's mom would be cheering a lot louder if he actually went yard on that one like the crowd thought, but not today. Swing and a miss. Or not this at bat. He still could be up. Swing and a miss from Dean Miller. Count is 2-2. 1 out. Runner on second. Apologize for the tangent there. Dean Miller went yard his first time up. A home run over the left field fence. Ryan Cash caught in a little bit of a pickle as he maybe was trying to think about stealing third, but he scampers back to the bag and he's in there safely. No throw from Quincy Jones, just a step off the mound to look him back. But Cash may be itching to try and swipe one. Foul ball. Count stays at 2-2. Also, I'm sure all the moms watching this broadcast have seen so many baseball games. They've probably seen more baseball games than I have, and I've seen a lot in this job. The schedule of a baseball parent is one that I don't think there's any other sport that holds a candle to it. First of all, the Little League, the youth baseball infrastructure in America is so solid that, you know, a lot of these guys, they practically woke up with the bat in their hands and they were in T-ball by the time they could walk, and they've been playing baseball pretty much ever since. There's only a few exceptions on the roster that are not like that. Breaking ball swung on. Nick Hogan thought about trying to field it down the third base line, but he decided to keep his hands unbruised. Count stays full for Dean Miller. Dean Miller is somebody who is also good at another's work. Pretty good basketball player according to the rest of the guys. 3-2, 1 out pitch with a runner on second. He swings on it again, nearly takes out his coach. Foul down the third base line. Ryan Cash, plenty of wheels on second. Cash has 23 stolen bases now, been caught just 4 times this season. Swung on, a high fly ball down the right field line. It's curling and it goes foul, but it was over the wall. It had the distance down the right field line. Dean Miller, somebody that during batting practice when the wind was really picking up, the third baseman for Glacier, he was salivating, getting ready to hit, and it proved fruitful in his first time up when he hit a home run with the wind at his back. 3-2 with 1 out. Jones kicks and fires. Swung on, it's another foul ball. Look at those mountains. Sorry. Get a little distracted sometimes when the view is what it is here. for all the parents listening, I hope you had a chance to try and find your way out at some point this season. I know there was numerous friends, family, that made their way down to the ballpark, and it is not a place that you want to miss out on. Ball 4 misses on the inside. Count is expired on Miller. He works a long at bat and ends up with a walk out of it. Brody Wofford steps in now. 20 home runs on the season for Brody Wofford. 2 of the guys that were nominated as the best athlete in another sport by the OGs. Ryan Cash on second. Of course, his football accolades speak for themselves. One of the best high school quarterbacks in Texas history. As this first pitch from Brody Wofford is fouled back, count goes to 0-1. Dean Miller, at some point, must have been playing some pickup basketball with the rest of these guys, because he gets a lot of shout-outs. As this one's lifted into left field, nobody's going to have a play on it. It's going to be a foul ball, and a count goes to 0-2 on Brody Wofford. Cash still at second base. Quincy Jones made to work this inning. Only 1 out. And this will be his 19th pitch of the frame. 0-2, 1 out, runners on first and second coming into Brody Wofford. The pitch. Swung on, foul ball, and a bat that has seen its final days. Tell you what, y'all. If you get the chance to come down to the Merc, and I don't know what the off-season hours are going to look like for the Mercantile here. That is TBD. Again, another thing, pay attention to the Glacier Range Riders social media page, and maybe there'll be some chances to watch, or some chances to come in and get some gear in the off-season, or at least there'll be a chance to order stuff online. But if you do get a chance to come down to the Merc at some point, there are bats for sale, the broken bats. A lot of them end up in the store, and there are some cool ones there. A lot of these guys got their bats engraved with their name, their number. Some of them say Glacier Range Riders on them. There's some cool ones down there, and they signed them all. Double steal attempt. It's a foul ball, so Dean Miller and Ryan Cash will have to run a lap back around and head to their original bases. Quincy Jones just struggling right now with finding that punch-out pitch. He does not have a strikeout on the day, and that is clearly one of the places that the Range Riders have been able to get to him. 52 strikeouts coming into this game in 79 innings. Called strike 3. There it is. Announcer's jinx in full effect. Right when I say it, he finds the punch-out pitch, and on his 50th pitch, it is 1K for him on the day. Eddie McCabe steps in now. McCabe, right-hander, graduate of Georgetown University, and I'll tell you what, he sounds like a Georgetown grad. When I put the camera on him to film a quick video to thank the host families, he sounded straight out of D.C., a true politician that knew exactly what to say, didn't give him a script, just said, hey, just thank the host families, thank your own host family, and let them know how much they're appreciated. And he came out and he rattled off. I mean, I was ready to vote for him for president right after that. That was incredible from Eddie McCabe. Count goes to 1-0 after the first pitch misses. That one also misses. It's 2-0 now on the designated hitter today for the Glacier Range Riders. Ben McConnell waiting on deck. Ben McConnell, I'm sure he's good at other sports, but I know from the Range Riders following him on social media that he posts a lot about F1, I believe. I believe he's a big Formula One fan. If you don't know what Formula One fan is, go to Netflix after this game, not during the game, continue to watch the game, watch the Netflix series Drive to Survive, and you're going to get an indoctrination into the great sport of Formula One racing. The 3-0 pitch is swung on, green light on 3-0. There is a couple titans in that sport, and for a guy in Ben McConnell that's one of the fastest in this league, clearly he's looking at guys like Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen in terms of finding the need for speed. Ball 4 as that one misses, and it is a bases-loaded situation now for speedy Ben McConnell. 2 outs, plays at any base, says Lucas Polanco. Quincy Jones has thrown 26 pitches this inning. Can he get out of it unscathed, or will the lead increase for the Range Riders? First pitch hits the top part of the zone, called a strike. Count goes to 0-1. Disagreement from the crowd, but to no avail. 0-1, 2 outs, bases loaded. Good speed everywhere. Cash, lots of it on third. Miller on second, and McCabe on first. That one misses off the plate. Count goes to 1-1. A purple sunset, a purple and pink sunset starting to take over here at Flathead Field in front of this record-breaking crowd. Like I said, not much of a spare seat in the house. This one's hit down the left field line, and it's going to end up as a souvenir. Maybe not. Bounce back into the field of play, but good on Charlie Hesse to make it right. And there's a good look at the crowd. Not an empty seat. This is awesome. I'll tell you what, there are higher levels of baseball, but it's hard to beat playing in front of a sold-out crowd. Swung on from Ben McConnell. Will it be a fair ball down the left field line? It will. It's a fair ball. 1 comes home, 2 comes home. Stop sign for Eddie McCabe. 2 RBI double from Ben McConnell. It's 4-0 Glacier here in the bottom of the third. Cash scores and Miller scores. And just a perfect opposite shot down the left field line from the left-hander Ben McConnell. McConnell has it at 4-0, and he's on second with McCabe on third. Ryan Cole steps up now. Could he dump 2 more across the plate? Glacier, just like last night, jumping out to a 4-0 lead in the early going. They put in 4 in the first last night. It took them 3 to get to 4 tonight. The first pitch from Quincy Jones misses outside, make it 1-0. Ground out over to third base. His first time up, and that's a strike to make it 1-1 for the Notre Dame grad. One, 2 outs, runners on second and third. Ryan Cole hits it to left, but it is right at Braden Daniel. Daniel makes the catch to end the suffering of a 33-pitch inning for Quincy Jones. Only 2 across, though. It stays within striking distance, but it's 4-0 as we head to the fourth. Chino de Guzman leads off the top of the 4th inning. 4-0, the Glacier Range Riders lead the Great Falls Voyagers here on the final home game of the 2022 season for the Glacier Range Riders. Beautiful flathead field. We'll see one more of America's pastime before being shuttered for the winter. Swung on, slapped up the middle hard from Chino de Guzman. He's got himself a leadoff single here in the top of the 4th. Just like Aaron Simmons did 2 innings ago. Coming out cracking. And now the man who led off the 2nd with a base hit, just like Chino de Guzman did, will step in, see if he can follow up that performance with another hit, possibly threaten Great Falls to score for the first time in over 12 innings of play, as they got shut out through 9 yesterday. First pitch coming in, drops down to bunt, and it's a foul ball. That one misses the zone. That's that low strike that Kevin Kyle is so dependent on. Not getting the call there. Count goes to 1-1. Swung on, fouled back. Count is 1-2. Reminder of the defensive alignment for the Glacier Range Riders. Bates behind the plate, Miller at third, Dennison at shortstop. You can see him in your camera right now. Ryan Cash over at second, Brody Wofford at first, and the outfield from left to right, Broussard, McConnell, and Ryan Cole. 1-2 pitch, no outs, runner on first. De Guzman is the runner. He'll stay put as that one misses high. And the count's 2-2. Not a lot of verticality in this strike zone. Couldn't get the low pitch to find the zone. And that one up high couldn't get that to fold in as well, as Bates did his best to frame it nicely for the home plate umpire. Count goes to 2-2. Swung on up the middle. Fielded by Dennison. He'll tap the bag. He'll throw to first. It's a beautiful play from Mason Dennison. 6-3 double play. The Twin Killing has 2 gone at the top of the 4th. Let's see it slow-mo, that throw, and got it in time. Absolutely beautiful from the Kaiser graduate. And second straight inning where a double play has emptied the bases. There's a called strike into Lucas Polanco, who's 0 for 1. Last inning, it was a leadoff walk to Malik, where a double play turned by Cash for 3 proved fatal in that inning. Not getting the call on the low strike again. Count goes to 1-1 as it misses. 1-1, 2 outs, top of the 4th. Lucas Polanco at the plate, the catcher out of Fort Worth, Texas. One of a handful of states represented in both of these rosters. Glacier Range Riders leaning heavy, of course, on the Georgia natives. There's also a ton of California kids. Couple Arizonans. And obviously some Texas as well, with the key members from Texas being McConnell and Cash. That one is called a ball, as Kevin Kyle, I think, was ready to take the trip to the dugout. Look at his reaction to this one. Oh, yeah. He thought he glimpsed the outside corner, but to me it looked fairly comfortably outside. 2-2 with 2 outs. That one definitely missed as well. Count goes to 3-2. Also see a handful of other states represented on this Range Riders roster. Ohio, New Jersey, Connecticut, Illinois, South Carolina. And there is strike 3. We head to the bottom of the fourth as Kevin Kyle, a punch out to finish the frame. Back here, we're in the bottom of the fourth inning. Mason Dennison leads off this frame. 0 for 1 with a pop out to shallow right field. The second baseman, Loera, caught the first ball off the bat of Mason Dennison. Due up this half inning, it's 8-9-1 as Mason Dennison, Austin Bates, and Ryan Cash step up to the plate. Look at the beauty unfolding behind the ballpark. Once again, a sunset that never misses here in the great state of Montana. First pitch into Mason Dennison, a called strike. Count goes to 0-1 on Dennison, who flashed the leather last inning with a snag of a grounder, the tap of second, and the throw to first for an out. And a completion of a 6-3 double play, the second double play of the contest for the Glacier Range Riders. A foul ball, count goes to 0-2. Dennison struggled a little bit at the plate last night. Did steal a base on the base paths after he reached on a fielder's choice. And right when I say that, a positive announcer's jinx in effect as Dennison cracks a hit into right field beyond Loera, the second baseman, and one is aboard to lead off the inning. Dennison, another state that is solely represented by just him, the only Florida native on the roster for the Glacier Range Riders. There's a lot of kind of lone southeastern states that are represented by one guy. Of course, Brant Broussard from Louisiana, the only New York kid coming in the form of Austin Bates, at least on the Range Riders roster. That one catches the inside part of the plate. Count goes to 0-1. Bates, his first time up, grounded out to third base. Justin Coleman, the lone representative from Murrayville, Tennessee. Stolen base attempted and sent into center field. It'll be a successful stolen bag from Mason Dennison. As a Range Rider, Dennison has his 10th successful stolen bag. He has not been caught as a Range Rider. Pitch was a ball. Count goes to 1-1. Polanco soared that one into center. Very well could have been a possibility for Dennison if he didn't take a hit from de Guzman there for him to get up and scamper to third on an E2. Instead, 1-1 comes in and Bates swings and misses. Count goes to 1-2. I gotta tie my shoe here because it's annoying me. I feel it untied there, but I don't want to take my eyes off the play. Swung on. It is a foul ball down the left field line, just to the left of third base. All right, now I'm putting my shoe up on my high top seat here, which is going to get the seat all dusty, but I don't sit down a lot during the game. It's the struggles of this job, and also the fact that they haven't put a bathroom in this wing yet. They haven't fully installed it. That's another struggle, this job. Swung on and missed by Austin Bates. And Bates is retired on a strikeout for the first out of the fourth inning. I'm not trying to tell you that I need to go to the bathroom right now or anything. I'm just saying that that is something that others have commented that is a struggle. However, learning how to hold it is a massive tool in this industry. I won't go any further than that. Pitch misses, count goes to 1-0. Oh, jeez. One out, Dennison on second. I don't even know how I come back from that. I almost want to just mute myself for the remainder of this game and let you guys just take in the crowd mic. Swung on and missed as Cash comes up empty. Count goes to 1-1. Cash out of Texas. Dennison out of Florida. I don't know why I'm big into geography right now. That one misses. Tried to frame it, did Polanco. Count goes to 2-1. Two Texas guys right next to each other is Polanco, like I mentioned earlier, out of Fort Worth, Texas, which is like Plano in the greater Dallas area. Fort Worth is the home of the Cowboys Stadium. Jerry World is in Fort Worth, if I'm not mistaken. It's in Arlington, Texas, which is how far from Fort Worth? I don't know why I thought Fort Worth was where it is. Another foul ball. Count stays at 2-2. Arlington is, it's right in between Dallas and Fort Worth, so maybe that's why that it's closer to Fort Worth. So you're looking at the Google Maps. Plano is mostly north and a little east of Dallas, but mostly north. That's where Cash calls home. 2-2 coming in from Jones. And it'll never break into the zone. Count is now full for Ryan Cash. Three-two, one out. Swung on, hit weakly up the middle, fielded by the shortstop de Guzman. What a play from de Guzman. He makes the throw on time and in time and on target to catch Ryan Cash running to first. Dennison does advance to third, but it is not a slow second baseman for the Glacier Range Riders in the form of Ryan Cash, and de Guzman launched into that one, charged it, fielded it, and threw it to first base in time just to make the play for Cash. Again, though, Dennison moves up, and now Brant Broussard will step in with an RBI opportunity. Runner on third, 2 outs here in the bottom of the fourth. Could make it 5-0 with one good swing of the bat, and he gets that good swing of the bat. First pitch and an RBI single from Brant Broussard. Make it 5-0 in favor of the Glacier Range Riders. Dean Miller, a little extra sauce on the ovation. Another look at that RBI single. Broussard facing it down. Popped it right into left center field. Exactly the stuff you want to put on it. And bring it home, Dennison. Now Dean Miller stepping in as day is turning to night here at Flathead Field. 2 outs in the bottom of the fourth. Miller 1 for 1 today with a walk and a home run. He came charged up on the first pitch, fouled it back. Count goes to 0-1. Miller, originally from Riverside, California, which is in the far reaches of the LA area. There's a called strike. Count goes to 0-2. Of course, LA, compared to the Southeast and parts of the Northeast, where baseball is still kind of finding itself as king, obviously taking second mostly to football, but still being a big sport. LA basketball is one of those big sports there. That's clearly the reason why Dean Miller knows how to shoot some hoops. He's found the net tonight, but it was not a basketball net. It was the net in front of the scoreboard. A home run that made it 2-0 with Brant Broussard along for the ride. Can Brant Broussard be along for a ride once again? That one is a better cricket pitch than it is a baseball pitch as it skips in the dirt. Clearly ahead of Dean Miller. Count goes to 1-2. 2 outs. Broussard on first. Miller preps to receive. Swings and shanks it hard down the left field line. Dangerously into that kids area that you see there. It bounced off that blue. And you always got to keep your head up at a baseball game, especially when you don't got netting in front of you. That one came off his bat at 105 miles per hour. Thankfully, everybody is okay. Pitch misses. Count goes to 2-2. Miller taking his time in between every pitch. We do have a pitch clock here at Flathead Field, but it has not been put into effect once by an umpire. 2-2, 2 outs. Broussard on first. The pitch in. Swing and a miss. Miller comes up empty. And Quincy Jones limits the damage in the fourth to just 1 run. However, 5-0. The Range Riders lead the Voyagers after an RBI single from Brant Broussard. We head to the 5th inning of play. First pitch of the top of the 4th inning, or top of the 5th inning, is Kevin Kyle into the zone on Fernando Loera. Loera 0 for 1 as he grounded into a fielder's choice. 6-4 his first time up. Swings on that one. Back to Kevin Kyle. Good reaction from the California native. And it is good for out number 1. Take another look at that one. Loera right back to him, and that one was right off the ground. It looked like 2. Yep, just bent down, put the glove to the turf, and get a good out for 1 gone in the top of the 5th. Colin Runge steps up for the 3rd time today now. Runge is 1 for 2 today. First pitch misses the zone. Count goes to 1-0 for Runge. 70th pitch thrown by Kevin Kyle. Clearly one of his best outings of the season right now as he's got a blank on the scoreboard. Misses. Count goes to 2-0. It hasn't been perfect from Kevin Kyle. 3 hits against him, as well as a couple walks thrown. 3 walks, but the 4 strikeouts have been able to combat that pretty well for Kevin Kyle. And again, the damage is limited against him. Called a ball. Count goes to 3-0. There have been a handful of borderline pitches. That one being one of them. A 3-0 pitch is called ball 4. 4-pitch walk to Colin Runge. Crowd is going to disagree as much as they can, but it will be no worth. 5-0 game. Nick Hogan right now coming out. We didn't have a good camera angle of it, but he was coming out and making some sorts of comments to our home plate umpire, Eric Martinez, saying how far was that off the plate? I think that's what he was going with. Ugh. That one misses on the inside. It's 5 straight balls thrown by Kevin Kyle. But the past 3 have not missed by much. It's the nicest way I can say that. 1-0. Swung on. It's a foul ball. 1 hops off the netting. Here's a pitch of this replay of that opening pitch to Malik. See where exactly it was. Definitely missed on the inside. But now with the foul ball, he finally has got the monkey off his back, breaks up that streak of 5 straight balls thrown. 1-1, and now a ball comes into the field of play from the bullpen of the Voyagers. They got a pitcher warming up. I think it's a lefty down there. Might be Brad Demko. No, I don't think that's pitching the same way Demko does, and a little bit shorter than the Oklahoma graduate. 1-1. Swung on. It's going to get through into right field. Green light coming around is Runge. The throw would have had a chance to get Runge, and now the throw over to first. Coming home. Wow, that is going to be kind of a loopy play that will end up scoring Runge all the way from first. What will it go down as? That is in the hands of our scorer. Definitely an error there somewhere that ended up scoring Runge. Let's take a look on what it goes down as. It goes as a Malik single, and Runge advancing to third on the single. It was a heck of a throw by Ryan Cole that nearly got Runge. Mason Dennison came up, and then Dennison threw it to Wofford over at first. And Wofford couldn't handle it. Now, I think the question is it Dennison's fault or Wofford's fault? This one's a high fly ball to left field. Back to get it is Broussard, and he grabs it for out number 2. Still waiting for the official decision on how that one is going to be scored. He might be watching, our official scorer, Brad, might be watching the replay of our broadcast, actually, to see exactly whose fault that was. Like I said, the question, is it a bad throw from Dennison or is it a bad catch or a non-catch from Wofford? It is going to go down against Wofford, an E3 that scores Colin Runge. 2 outs, runner on first, 5-1 as the shutout is broken. As of right now, it's an unearned run against Kevin Kyle. Likely Runge would have scored on the sacrifice fly, but I don't think you can assume that in the big scheme of things. And also our statting software forces you to say if it's unearned or earned when it gets entered. So even if a hit happens right here, it would still be a situation where the scorer has to go back and change it to an earned run. 5-1 is our score here in the top of the 5th. The shutout is broken, and not just a shutout today, but a streak of 13 2/3 innings in which the Voyagers have not scored. Called strike, count goes to 2-1. Some sarcastic applauses from the crowd. Well, maybe some of the applause was sarcastic. Some of it was actual for Kevin Kyle, trying to get behind Kevin Kyle and see what he can do. Likely the final start of the year for Kyle, so he's going to want to just leave it all out there. He has a long off season ahead of him. This one swung on to center field. Backing up is McConnell. And he'll make the grab in center field for out number 3. One comes across. It's an unearned run, but it makes it 5-1. Glacier leads Great Falls. All right, let's get back to some baseball as the most exciting part of the night is now behind us. Brody Wofford leads off this inning. Wofford just dinged with that E3 that allowed Runge to score. It'll be Wofford, McCabe, and McConnell, 4, 5, 6, the middle part of the lineup that start us off. First pitch into Brody Wofford, misses low and outside. Count goes to 1-0. Swung on, that one's ripped foul. Count is now 1-1 for Wofford. Wofford 0 for 2 today. He lined out to first and he struck out looking. 5-1 in the bottom of the 5th. Off speed comes in and misses the zone. Now it's 2-1. Brody Wofford from Rome, Georgia. And he's ahead 3-1, a hitter's count for one of the most dangerous hitters in the Range Riders lineup. And it's a 5-pitch walk to Brody Wofford to lead it off. Rome, Georgia, not too far from the Alabama border. Not too far from Atlanta as well. I've never looked too much into the geography of the Southeast. So when I zoom in and I see all these towns, it feels so foreign to me. There's a called strike. That makes the count 0-1 to Eddie McCabe. Got a new pitcher coming in. It's the end of the day for for Quincy Jones. Anthony Becerra Lopez takes to the mound now. Swung on, hit into right field, and it's a base knock from Eddie McCabe. He's reached base all 3 times today, 2 walks, and now his first hit of the contest. Ben McConnell steps up now. Last time up, he ripped a 2 RBI double down the left field line. Made it all the way to the wall, I believe. Hits are just 6-4, but the Range Riders are in control. Still nobody warming up in the pen for Glacier, so looks like Kevin Kyle will be given the 6th. Ben McConnell, a check swing, appeal over to third, said that he did not go. Ugh, I thought he went there. I thought the home plate umpire was going to say that he went. Seemed fairly clear to me. That is the unfortunate thing about having the third base umpire have to move out to the field where you see him there just to the left of second base in the infield. Hard to make that call from that position. That one misses to make the count 2-0. Again, Becerra Lopez on the mound. A player coach listed on the roster. 5-3 record, 5.78 ERA. And he has a strikeout to walk ratio 79-47. There's a called strike. Count goes to 2-1. Wofford on second, not going to burn you with his speed. McCabe over there on first. He is essentially chained to Wofford in terms of what he can do with his wheels. 2-1. Swing and a miss. Wofford, I've said it from day one, he is somebody that jumps out as a leader in this locker room, both on the field, but definitely has become a voice for the team in terms of talking to the coaching staff, talking to the administration here, all sorts of things. There's a swing and a miss as coming up empty is Ben McConnell. When I asked the OGs, the OG batters, which consist of Ben McConnell, Brant Broussard, Ryan Cash, Brody Wofford, Dean Miller, and actually Andrew Stout, one of 2 OG pitchers that are still around. And OGs are the guys that have been here since day one. They played in the first game, or at least were in the dugout and on the roster for the first game against the Rocky Mountain Vibes. When I said, who's the loudest on the team? They said Ben McConnell in the dugout after a punchy, which if you don't know what a punchy is, that's after striking out. He holds himself to a high standard, very hard on himself in the dugout there. 0-1, 1 out for Ryan Cole after seeing strike 1. Swings on that one, fouls it back. Ryan Cole last night was at the heart of a little bit of spiciness that came together when he saw 2 pitches go behind his head, a third one go right at his head, and warnings were issued to both sides after the ensuing fracas that saw a couple players start to think about leaving the dugout. Count goes to 1-2. Dennison, who's on deck right now, was on deck in that same situation, and he took just as much exception as Nick Hogan did to his teammate Ryan Cole being thrown at. Ryan Cole and Mason Dennison showed up at fairly similar times. This one is a high ball to center field. Will be caught by the center fielder, and Brody Wofford's going to try and make it up, and Brody Wofford burned some rubber. He's proving me wrong here. I said he wasn't going to burn any rubber with the wheels, but right there, Brody Wofford, with the long flowing hair behind him, said, "This is my final home game of the season. I'm going to leave it all out on the field." Tags up to put runners on the corners with 2 outs. A healthy hack from Ryan Cole, but all he can do is push Wofford up 90 feet. McCabe doesn't move anywhere. And Mason Dennison will ground this one to Loera. Loera boots it. Loera cannot come up with it clean at second base. It is an error that allows Wofford to get home to make it 6-1. Glacier leads. Mason Dennison has been on the unfortunate end of some hard luck errors. That one, pretty clear cut. That Loera woulda, shoulda had the play over at second base. Let's go to the number 9 batter, Austin Bates, 0 for 2 tonight. Swings on the first pitch, a high fly ball to shallow right center field. Coming in to make the play is Aaron Simmons for out number 3. A run comes home on a Dennison hit that turns into an error. It is 6-1. We head to the 6th. Kevin Kyle steps up in the top of the 6th for another inning of work. He's thrown 81 pitches, and like I said, I think it's one of those feelings of my final game of the year. Let me just leave it all out here because he has all winter to be sore. If you don't know how free agency or the offseason works in the Pioneer Baseball League, and the reason I can't tell you that, I have no idea if anybody is returning to Glacier next year. And, obviously that's something as soon as the team does, they want to be able to announce, because there are certain players that have found their way into the hearts of the Flathead faithful. The way how the offseason works here in the Pioneer Baseball League, and this is for me reading the website or the rule book as it goes to 0-2 on Charlie Hesse. Hesse's 0 for 1 today. He's been plunked by a pitch, and it's de Guzman and Simmons also due up this half inning for Great Falls here in the top of the 6th. It's 6-1. Glacier leads. 0-2 pitch coming in. Misses low. Count goes to 1-2. At the end of the season, the team submits a 25-person list. And that list doesn't mean they are re-signing those 25 players. It means they are holding on to the rights and want to negotiate a re-signing with those 25 players. That is what it means. And those are any players that are technically still signed with the Range Riders or with the Great Falls Voyagers or with the team. As that's a swing and a miss, and Kevin Kyle starts off the 6th with a strikeout. So essentially, injured players, and I'm thinking about Gabe Howell, Sam Linscott, guys who showed really solid but then had a season-ending injury. Guys like that very well could be a part of that list. And at the same time, guys that have been here since day one, they could also be a part of that list. Guys that have voluntarily retired that the Range Riders still technically hold the rights to, they could also be a part of that list. I don't think that would be very smart, but they could be. So that's how it works, where nobody has a contract into next year. You can only sign coaches into a contract into next year. 1-0. Breaking ball that misses. Count goes to 2-0. If you wonder what that applause was, that was Cliff, the GOAT mascot. Also the GOAT, greatest of all time mascot. As there's a strike, makes it 2-1. Cliff's dancing around on the dugouts trying to hype up the fans here midway through this contest. Get through some of this mid-inning stagnation. Also, if you were looking in between the innings, if you were watching the broadcast, I didn't jump on during the broadcast to explain it to you because you hear enough of my voice, and after the tractor races, man, I needed a break. But the Montana Veterans Home, I believe, have a group of the veterans that live in that home that have made it down to the ballpark tonight, and that's what the camera was on there. If you saw that group that made it up to the suite there, a bunch of the veterans that call the Flathead Valley home here, and a standing ovation from the audience and the crowd that has made their way out to Flathead Field to pay respect to those who have made the biggest decision that they can make in terms of putting their health and their safety at risk for the safety of this country. And the Glacier Range Riders as a franchise cannot thank those veterans and active duty service members enough for the sacrifices they make, as well as the families and loved ones of those that choose to serve our country. Great moment here at Flathead Field in between the 5th and the 6th. After a walk to De Guzman, it is Aaron Simmons that comes up now. Count is 1-0. 1 out here in the top of the 6th. Kevin Kyle's at 93 pitches now. We still got warm-ups going on. I think who's ever warming up there is ready to go at this point. Swung on, up the middle. Dennison fields, no. Dennison can't hold on to it, and there will be no throw. That's going to be an E6. That might be the end of Kevin Kyle. Man, that could have been a double play. Twin killing would have sent us to the bottom of the 6th instead. The E6, second error of the game for the Glacier Range Riders. And a tough one to swallow there from Mason Dennison, who is so stellar on the defensive side of the diamond. Up comes Lucas Polanco. He's 0 for 2 today. Kevin Kyle's been really good at getting some ground balls at his defense. First pitch into Polanco. Misses in the dirt. Count goes to 1-0. Kevin Kyle, mentioned originally from California, spent a season at San Jose State before heading to Georgia Gwinnett. Also had a year of JUCO ball, or 2 years of JUCO ball maybe. This one's hitting to right field. Ryan Cash fields it. How about it? A big throw from Ryan Cash that gets a standing ovation, even more than the catch that he made. Just the throw of intimidation to make sure De Guzman didn't move up to third. Gets a roar from the Flathead faithful. They love seeing the right fielder flex his muscles a little bit there. It's a fly out to right field, good for out number 2. Trying to keep a clean sheet in the earned run column for his pitcher is the defense now. Of course, because of that E6, it will be preserved through 6. That error should have been out number 3 at least. You can't assume the double play that Dennison would have had. And honestly, I think the reason he made the error is because he was thinking about how to turn the double play, whether he was going to flip or tap second himself. But he definitely should have had 1 on that. Oh my God, there's a bug right next to my switcher right now. Scared the living daylights out of me. 1-0. Let me find a piece of paper to shovel. Oh, this bug is just walking right across my area. And we are going to see Mike Spears come out. And I have vanquished the bug from the booth. Oh, geez, man. The bugs are out. The bugs are out. We've seen a fair amount of yellow jackets just all over the valley. I feel like I see one buzzing around me all the time, no matter where you go in the Flathead Valley. Quick conference as the count is 2-0. I think Mike Spears maybe said something along the lines of just get it over the plate, man. You got Fernando Loera, who has struggled against the Range Riders. He caught some fire against the other sides. And, oh, now we got Cliff doing push-ups. Cliff is putting on a show right now. I think somebody yelled at Huck to do some push-ups himself, and Huck just showed the crowd his belly. It's a big old grizzly bear. This one's hit over to third, fielded by Miller. Miller throws. What a play from Dean Miller. On the run and off balance, he fires to Brody Wofford, who makes a stretch over at first, and it's another impressive defensive play from the Glacier Range Riders to get us to the top of the sixth. 6-1, Glacier leads. We head to the bottom half of the inning. Back here, we're in the bottom of the sixth. Just announced a crowd of over 2,600 at Flathead Field. A new record, and technically standing room only. There is only 2,500 fixed seats at Flathead Field. And the count will go to 1-0 on Ryan Cash from Anthony Becerra Lopez. Not only was the announcement made of tonight's attendance being over 2,600, but more than that, there was a thank you given to the fans for making their way out, whether you are a parent at home and, you know, in communication with your son over the support that the Range Riders have gotten this year, whether you're a fan that just couldn't make it out tonight, or, you know, or maybe had to head home early, or maybe showing up late to try and see the final innings, whatever it is. From the bottom of our hearts, all of us at the Glacier Range Riders, thank you for supporting your team in whatever way possible, because truly, whether it has been allowing your son to start their professional career, continue their professional career, or whether it's the support you give us coming to the stadium or just supporting online, it has been an absolutely stellar year. And wins, losses, anywhere in between does not erase the memories that I believe were made in the thousands or maybe hundreds of thousands at Flathead Field, and will continue to be made throughout the long existence of this franchise into the future. A flyout for Ryan Cash to the second baseman in shallow right field. And a called strike into Brant Broussard makes the count 0-1 here to Broussard, who's 1 for 2 on the night. That one misses. Count goes to 1-1. There's a foul ball. Count's now 1-2. Make it 2-2 as that one misses high. Many of you have been tuning in for almost all, or maybe all, of the 48 games that we broadcast here from Flathead Field. And as this one is hit into shallow right field, a base hit from Brant Broussard. He's on with 1 out in the bottom of the 6th. I just want to say I hope it shows the amount of effort that everybody has made. I hope you can sense a little bit more of in the ballpark all the effort that's been made by seeing the crowds that have showed up in the past couple weeks. But more than that, I hope on the broadcast side of things that you guys have been somewhat pleased by the improvements that we've made, and hopefully it continues to have an upwards trajectory into the 2023 season. Better play on the field as well for the Range Riders, who are hitting their stride at the wrong moment. After they're officially eliminated from playoff contention, they've come on and they've won 4 straight games at home. One and 0 after the first pitch misses to Dean Miller. 1 out, Broussard on first. This one swung on and hit hard down the right field line. It's a foul ball out of play. Count goes to 1-1. Range Riders technically should play 4 games in Grave Falls. There is a partially completed game that was scheduled to have happened in Centene Stadium over one of the days in the upcoming 3. As there were 3 games originally scheduled, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Should be one on top of that with the Range Riders down 3-0 in the top of the 4th. This one's hit up the middle. Nice grab from Becerra Lopez. He throws to second and he throws to first, does the shortstop de Guzman. It's a 1-6-3 double play. Becerra Lopez to de Guzman to Deeb to finish off the 6th inning. What a great play from the player coach Becerra Lopez. We head to the 7th, still 6-1. Glacier leads. back here. We are in the top of the 7th inning. The Glacier Range Riders lead the Great Falls Voyagers by a score of 6-1 here in the top of the 7th. Colin Runge steps up to see the new pitcher, Yasnir Laureano. First pitch from Laureano misses high. Count goes to 1-0. Let me give you a final line in one of the most impressive starts of the season for Kevin Kyle. Of course, struggled with that control, which is something that has been an unfortunate storyline for his season. But 6 innings pitched, 4 hits, 1 run, but it was unearned, 5 walks, and 5 strikeouts for Kevin Kyle. Again, that 1 run unearned against him because of the E3 that we saw. That one misses inside. It's 3-0 to Colin Runge right now. One of the biggest things that he did against the Great Falls Voyagers is whenever there were 2 outs, the Voyagers batted 0 for 6 with 2 outs. He kept their clutch hitting as a non-option for them. Swung on, in the zone. If it was swung on, it was just a phantom swing. And it goes down as a swing and a miss, the same thing, essentially. A get-me-over pitch is 3-1. That's a swing and a miss. Count goes to 3-2. As Colin Runge almost just had his soul leave his body. He whipped around so hard to try and make contact with that one. 3-2. No outs. Laureano sets on the mound, fires it in, swung on, popped up to right field. Coming in is Cole, and Cole will camp out, pitch at 10, make some s'mores, and then grab it for out number 1. Jake Malik now steps up. Malik 1 for 1 today. He has reached all 3 times, a walk, and a single. The only thing that is going to save me from the struggle I'll go through with this being the final game of the season is the fact that it is no more perfect schedule making by the PBL schedule makers than to have Glacier final home game Wednesday, 1 day later, less than 24 hours to wait, and we get the start of NFL season tomorrow. I mean, couldn't have drawn it up any better for me personally. And I know they probably don't think about me personally when they make the schedule, but somebody out there is listening. Appreciate you, Mike Shapiro, and the guys back in the league office. 1-1 is the count after that swing and a miss from Malik. Tomorrow night, 6:20 p.m. Montana time, the defending Super Bowl champion LA Rams take on the Buffalo Bills in what should be a great contest to open the season. This is another high fly ball. Brant Broussard going to make the play in shallow left field, and 2 will be gone in the top of the 7th. Yasnir Laureano, limited time for him in the Range Rider jersey, recently acquired after Billings cut him loose. And on the season, in just his 2 appearances, a 9.82 ERA, 3 2/3 innings pitched. So very small sample size, and as happens with relievers with a small sample size, the ERA a little bit higher than maybe it should be. Also, his 2 previous appearances were against the by far the best offense in the PBL in the Missoula Paddleheads, especially at home. The Paddleheads go crazy at home. 1-0 pitch coming in to Braden Daniel. That one misses. Count goes to 2-0. Opening week of the NFL season has plenty of good matchups in store. Sunday Night Football will be the Buccaneers and the Cowboys. Maybe Ryan Cash's family or Ben McConnell's family are Cowboy fans in the greater Dallas area. And, of course, I'll be fairly vested in the Monday night contest where the Broncos take on the Seahawks. For those who have listened, I've dropped it here or there that I'm a Mariners fan as well as a Seahawks fan. I mentioned earlier today that I was a University of Washington fan. Seattle all the way, and Monday could be the start to a rough season for the Seattle Seahawks. Get me over pitch, does that. Finds the zone. Count goes to 3-1. 2 outs here. Base is empty. Top of the 7th. It's 6-1. Glacier leads Great Falls here in the home finale for the Glacier Range Riders at Flathead Field. Yasnor Laureano pitched last season, finished out his collegiate career at Tennessee Wesleyan University. This one is ripped hard into right field. Backing up is Ryan Cole, and Ryan Cole makes the catch on the line out to right field. It is 3 balls hit to the outfield, but 3 balls right into the leather of Range Rider outfielders. We head to the 7th inning stretch. Stick around for the final Take Me Out to the Ball Game of 2022.
7th inning stretch. Get on your feet. Get those vocal cords ready. Looks like Huck and Cliff have found some friends, and here we go. Everybody sing.
One of the best additions to Take Me Out to the Ball Game of the year as we continue to tick down the final innings of professional baseball in the year 2022 in the Flathead Valley. Soaking in every minute. I hope you at home are soaking in every minute as well, and I hope that despite how sad you might be, as this one's hit to the third baseman on a broken bat, it's going to be a slow flip over to first as Brody Wofford decided to just accept that one. And it will be a 5-3 ground up for out number 1. I hope, although you will be bummed, you can also take some time to look back on this season. Of course, all these broadcasts are archived, so go back and relive every moment. Of course, follow along the Range Riders social media as some highlights from the year and different things will be coming out in the coming days and weeks, and even maybe in the dead of December might remind you of a Livingston Morris knockout round home run, or Brant Broussard's game-winning error that he forced the Billings Mustangs in midway through the season. All sorts of memories both on the diamond and off that have been made here at this breathtaking facility in between Kalispell and Whitefish, Montana in the Flathead Valley. Foul ball. Do another 1-2 pitch in from Becerra Lopez, who's still out there pitching into Eddie McCabe. One out, base is empty for Eddie McCabe. Fouls it again, a carbon copy of the last foul ball. Most of the crowd still sticking around through this one. Want to see the final out of 2022, it seems, to complete a 3-game sweep of the Great Falls Voyagers if the Range Riders are able to hold on. 1-2, misses up high. Count goes to 2-2. All-time series between these two sides. It is currently 13-14 in favor of the Great Falls Voyagers. However, a win evens us up at 500. This one's ripped well down the left field line. It's a base hit, and at least 2 for Eddie McCabe. He rounds and heads to second. Sliding in safely is Eddie McCabe. A double from the Georgetown Hoya makes it a runner on second with 1 out. Now Ben McConnell steps in. Doesn't look like any action is happening in the bullpen. I think both teams are kind of in this situation where they're letting batters kind of maybe get around a little bit on pitchers. They're not going to pull that quickly because, in theory, the wins and losses don't necessarily matter in this contest with both teams officially eliminated from playoff contention. Last night, it was Billings that tuned into the final inning or so of this broadcast to see the final dagger in the Great Falls Voyagers' chances with Justin Coleman striking out the side in the top of the ninth. 10-0 decision in favor of the Range Riders. 3 out of 4 shutouts that the Range Riders have had as a franchise have come against the Great Falls Voyagers, including the first home shutout in franchise history and the first shutout period in franchise history, and those were on different occasions. It was in Centene Stadium when the Range Riders triumphed, I believe, 13-0 over Great Falls, and then I think it was a 2-0 decision that Rob Hamby started in the first game played between the two here at Flathead Field. Count is 3-1 to Ben McConnell. One out. Pitch in, swung on, out to right field. It looks like Simmons can make a play on it, and he will. He grabs it, and McCabe does not advance. But the Range Riders, the biggest part about being I mean, not the biggest difficulty, but one of thousands of difficulties of being a brand new team. One of them is every other team starts with at least a blueprint for what they want their roster to be in terms of guys that played for the team last year. Breaking ball misses out, and count goes 1-0 to Ryan Cole. Range Riders didn't have that. Didn't have that at all. They started from scratch. They took some players in the early season or the preseason draft of a training camp that was held down in Arizona. They made off-season signings. There's some of those, if you go back far enough on the Range Riders social media, that never proved fruitful. They never appeared in a game for the Glacier Range Riders. And there was a handful of those guys that were signed in the early season that only lasted a couple games for Glacier. When the Range Riders came home, they had a massive kind of switch out of their roster after ending the road trip on a bad note after it started so fruitful with a 5-1 record against the Rocky Mountain Vibes. 3-0 pitch finds the inside part of the zone. Count goes to 3-1 on Ryan Cole. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th, and a runner on second in Eddie McCabe. That one nearly hits Ryan Cole, and it will be ball 4. Cole reaches first, and Dennison will step up now. Quick conversation between Polanco and Becerra Lopez. Slow warm-up starting to get happening, but nothing serious. It doesn't look like Becerra Lopez will be pulled anytime soon. Like I was saying, though, the Range Riders put together a roster. They tried, they saw what worked, what didn't. This is Nick Hogan's first professional season. Oh, baby. Wait one minute, ladies and gentlemen. We got a development happening here as Livingston Morris is standing on deck. And this place is going to explode if Livingston Morris finds his way up to the plate, especially with 2 outs if he's able to find his way to the plate. This one swung on, blooped into shallow right field. It will not happen this inning, as it is a fly out to the second baseman, Fernando Loera, for out number 3. We'll see if maybe we get to see a Livingston Morris sighting in the 8th to what would be an eruption at Flathead Field. Don't go anywhere. Still exciting turns to happen in the 8th. Back here, we're in the top of the 8th inning. It is Michael Deeb stepping up to see the new pitcher, John Natoli. John Natoli picked up his first professional win in his last appearance when he pitched 2/3 to end the top of the 8th on Monday night. He has 4 2/3 total innings pitched for the Glacier Range Riders. This one's a rifle just beyond the dive of Mason Dennison. Nearly coming up with a stupendous play at short as the Glacier Range Riders shortstop. Instead, a leadoff single from Michael Deeb, and it is runner on first with no outs. Other than the 4 2/3 innings pitched, Natoli has a 3.86 ERA, that 1-0 record. This is his 6th appearance as a Range Rider, and he has 6 strikeouts to 1 walk. That was the 5th hit he's given up in the Glacier Range Rider jersey. Up comes Charlie Hesse. First pitch into Hesse. Misses the outside the zone for the North Dakota State Bison. John Natoli, I've talked a lot about football in this broadcast, is the fall weather signifying the turn from baseball to football season, but Mr. Natoli finished up his collegiate career at a school much more known for their basketball. Duke University made their way all the way to the Final Four this year. I was lucky enough to be down in New Orleans to watch the Final Four game between North Carolina and Duke. It's just an incredible atmosphere for professionals, or for a not professional sporting event, but for a event that felt, I mean, it was just rivalry times 1,000. University of North Carolina came up with the win and ended Coach Mike Krzyzewski's incredible career. 1-2 coming in. Misses, and the Range Riders continue to not get those borderline calls from our home plate umpire. Count goes to 2-2. Deeb still on first after his leadoff single. Hesse 0 for 2 tonight, but Hesse has been plunked. Pickoff attempt over to first is unsuccessful. Top of the 8th there, it's 6-1. Glacier tries to go for this home sweep in their final series of the season at home. 2-2. Swung on, just a piece of it grabbed, and it's a foul ball. That keeps the count at 2-2. No outs. That one misses up and in, and it's ball 3. Likely, I believe we will see Nathan Thomas pitch the final inning. How it has worked is essentially every other game, it's either Nathan Thomas or Justin Coleman to pitch the 9th, no matter what the situation is, really. It was the same way with Coleman and Austin Steinfort. There's a swing and a miss. Natoli gets a swinging K to start off with his first out of the top of the 8th. Deeb still on first. De Guzman steps in now. De Guzman has a single and a walk to his name today. Will continue to step into the left-handed batter's box unless we get a lefty pitching, which would mean a position player would be pitching, either Brody Wofford, David Kiriakou. Actually, none of these guys throw right. Will Mangurian, who's on the inactive list. He's the only guy listed as throwing lefty on the roster. There's a strike. Count goes to 0-1. So it is literally impossible. There's no active players that throw with their left hand for the Glacier Range Riders. A couple switch hitters, but that's it. This one's hit. It's going to get through beyond the shortstop, Mason Dennison, rounding for third. Deeb thought about it, but he holds up. And Deeb will stay at second base. Up now, the right fielder, Aaron Simmons, comes in. Simmons is 1 for 3, grounded into a double play, also reached on an error. Hits tonight are 8-6 in favor of the Glacier Range Riders. But the run total much further separated. 6-1, the Range Riders lead the Great Falls Voyagers. There's a called strike. Count goes to 0-1 on Aaron Simmons out of I keep on wanting to say that Aaron Stevens is from Augustana University. Simmons is from Augustana University. He's from Wisconsin Stevens Point. Calls Franklin, Wisconsin home. Don't know why I keep thinking that. I don't know who I'm confusing him with. There's a swing and a miss. Count goes to 0-2. There is an Augustana University player on this Great Falls roster. A couple of them. Will Olson is one of them, as well as Tanner Brown, the pitcher, who the Range Riders will likely see on the road in Centene Stadium. 0-2. Misses up high. Count goes to 1-2. For the final time this season, I'm going to give a huge shout out and thank you to Rachel Franks, our camera operator on this roaming camera that you see get all sorts of shots. 1-2, it's a foul ball. It's a little 3D vision for you right there. Coming right at you. Count stays 1-2. Rachel does such a great job. She also catches those in-between inning shots of the crowd, whether they're playing a game in between inning, and those shots do go up on the scoreboard fairly often as well. So she has the difficult job of kind of playing a dual job by catching some of the game. Ooh, that one called a ball. Don't know where it missed. Count goes to 2-2. But the typical job of trying to help me out and give me good shots for the broadcast, and at the same time turning around and trying to help our in-game presentation staff, who do such a good job trying to help them get good shots for the scoreboard. 2-2. Swung on and missed. Up comes Lucas Polanco as John Natoli has his second strikeout of the frame. A hit by Deeb and a hit by De Guzman have stunk up a possible 1-2-3 inning and a swift KKK inning, but instead it will be still a chance to strike out the side, just with a few wrinkles in the mix. First pitch. Misses the zone. Sometimes you just see it. And as those who have heard me broadcast before, I'm watching what's happening in front of me. I'm not watching your view. So maybe you're seeing, oh yeah, that's clearly a ball. I'm just seeing what looks like not a ball. This one is a ball hit out to right field. It will be over the fence. Lucas Polanco has hit a 3-run home run to make it 6-4, and all of a sudden this game just got really interesting in the top of the 8th. A 3-run blast from Lucas Polanco, registered at only 321 feet. The wind might have had a good effect on that one if this reading is correct. I don't know how hard it's blowing out there, but man, this just got interesting with the 3-run blast. A couple strike calls maybe not going John Natoli's way. But you can't cry over spilt milk. You got to keep fighting through it. As he struck out 2 batters, but the 2 base hits and then the 3-run shot that makes it 6-4, the first earned runs of the game. The first earned runs since Monday night for Great Falls. Count goes to 1-1, 2 outs here. Loera at the plate. If Loera goes down, it'll be likely Nathan Thomas. Still not seeing any warm-ups going on, but it could be likely Nathan Thomas to come on in the 9th to try and go through 1-2-3, as Loera is the number 9 batter, and he's now down 1-2. 0 for 3 tonight is Loera. Grounded into a fielder's choice and then has 2 ground outs as well. John Natoli sets on the mound, fires, and a swing and a miss. So it is 3 strikeouts, but the 3-run blast from Lucas Polanco has made it spicy. We head to the bottom of the 8th. Don't go anywhere. There is that eruption from the Flathead faithful that I was talking to you about. Livingston Morris stepping in at Flathead Field for his final at-bat as a range rider this season. The crowd knows him very well. You can just tell by the eruption as soon as Tony Hernandez, our PA announcer, started to say his name. The crowd lit up with enthusiasm. Swing and a miss from Livingston Morris. He's had some hand injuries that have kept him out of play for the most part over the past 2 weeks. Kept on the roster and kept on the active roster to use most likely for a knockout round scenario. As he swings and misses at that one. And right now, Nick Hogan's trying to give him one chance to continue to cement his name in the mind of Range Rider faithful. Foul ball, just got a piece of it. You think about it though, he has not faced a live speed pitch since his last, we've seen him in 2 knockout rounds. He came on against Colin Runge in the knockout round about a week and a half ago, but he didn't play in that game. It has been a while for him seeing a live pitch, and there's nothing that compares to live at bat. 1-2. Swung on and missed. Livingston Morris comes up empty. It is no storybook situation for him, but still a good applause from the Flathead faithful. And unless we bat around, then doesn't seem like we will see him again. And I assume that's just a designated pinch hitter. We'll see if we see Bates catch in the 9th or if the duties behind the plate are flipped to Drew Sims. Swing and a miss to start off the at-bat for Ryan Cash. Cash stepping in for the 5th time tonight. He's 1 for 4. There's a foul ball from Cash. The one hit that Ryan Cash had was that comebacker to the pitcher, and Quincy Jones could not come up with it. And a "Let's go Ryan" chant breaking out at Flathead Field for most likely Ryan Cash's final at-bat in front of the Flathead faithful. There's a foul ball. I think the fans are understanding the gravity of the situation here as guys that really have worn the Range Rider uniform since day one of this team being around are now having their final chance to be appreciated by the fans in person. Another foul ball. Let me read you some final lines on some pitchers for Great Falls, notably Quincy Jones. He threw 4 innings, 5 hits, 5 runs, all earned, 4 walks and 3 strikeouts. For Anthony Becerra-Lopez, 3 innings of work, 3 hits, 1 run, it was unearned, and 2 walks and a strikeout. Swung on another foul ball. Still 0-2 on Ryan Cash. 1 out, bottom of the 8th. Swung on out to shallow left field. The shortstop to Guzman backs up, and he grabs that one for out number 2. Looking out of the bullpen, it is Nathan Thomas getting the warm-ups here as just had a camera freeze. Sorry about that. Sometimes it just needs a second to wake up. Yeah, I'm seeing the same thing you are. Ryan Cash frozen on the screen. Well, let me at least show you Brant Broussard cracking that one foul down the right field line. Oh, there we go. Oh, we got life. We got life. All 3 cameras working, which we love it when that happens, don't we? 0-1, 2 outs. Dean Miller waiting on deck. He broke the scoring open with a home run in the bottom of the 1st. There's a foul ball and a late swing. Count goes to 0-2. Dean Miller, he would love one more chance to swing the bat in front of the Flathead faithful. Everybody definitely going to glue to their seats now. It's a 2-run ball game here and set up for an exciting finish at Flathead Field with one of 2 designated kind of closing pitchers preparing to come on in the form of Nathan Thomas. Broussard is 2 for 3 tonight. He's got a walk and 2 singles. Solid afternoon for Brant Broussard, another one of those day one guys. He was on the bus ride down to Colorado Springs, about 20 hours on a bus to go and play their first game against the Rocky Mountain Vibes that they won 15-1 over 3 months ago. Foul ball. Broussard stays alive. Oh, 2 outs. Base is empty for Brant Broussard. Thought about going, but he held back. Count goes to 1-2. Brett Laura is the new pitcher. Told you Becerra-Lopez was done. I told you his final line. I never told you that Brett Laura was in. Oklahoma Sciences and Arts graduate. Like a handful. Not even a handful, less than that. An Oklahoma native. Like at least 2 other pitchers on his roster. Ethan Swanson is from Oklahoma, as well as Braden Daniel, the Bixby, Oklahoma native. 2-2, 2 outs. Broussard would be more than happy to maybe turn this 0-2 count all the way into a walk. But a base hit helps his batting average, so he'd take that too. 2-2. Swung on, a slow roller over to first. He's going to race against the pitcher. Out over at first. He immediately takes off his helmet to disagree with the call. Let's take a look at slow-mo, baby, as we send you to the 9th inning. Don't go anywhere. Going to be an exciting finish. I don't know if you saw, but Cliff almost hucked a T-shirt in my window over the past couple throws that he had there. Jeez, Cliff. If that one would have gone in and I would have been looking at it, it would have scared the living daylights out of me. I'll tell you that much. Whatever happened to that bug that was crawling around? Eyes have been lost on the bug. I hope it's not on me right now. Whew. Summer nights in Montana coming to a close. One more inning of professional baseball. Will we just see the top of the ninth, or will we get to see a bottom half of the frame? The top part of the lineup will come in and try and do that for the Great Falls Voyagers. Colin Runge leads it off. Batting second is Jake Malik, and Braden Daniel will bat third. These are by far the three most dangerous, in my opinion, by far the three most dangerous players you have to contend with. And one player gets on, that means tying run comes to the plate. And Nathan Thomas has come in with a 3-run lead in the top of the ninth before. And it has gone against him before, against these Great Falls Voyagers. It was Braden Daniel who had a bases-clearing 3 RBI triple with the bases loaded that tied the game at 3 a few Fridays ago. And in that contest, it would end up being fatal for the Glacier Range Riders, as Colin Runge, the man at the plate right now, would end up winning the knockout round against Livingston Morris, the game that I was talking about, the last appearance he's had in front of the Flathead faithful. Runge squares to bunt on the first pitch against Nate Thomas. Count goes to 1-0 as he pulls back and the ball misses low. 2.55 ERA for Nate Thomas, a 2-0 record. This is his 20th appearance. He's got 1 save, and he has allowed just 5 earned runs all year. Swing and a miss. Count goes to 1-1. Nobody's leaving the ballpark now as we are set for an exciting finish here at Flathead Field. Will it be a save for Nate Thomas to send everybody happy, or will Great Falls find a way to muster up a comeback? A 3-run shot last inning from Lucas Polanco cut it to just 2 runs. That pitch misses. Count goes to 2-1. Glacier in the driver's seat from the get-go. 2 runs in the first, 2 runs in the third, 1 in the fourth, and 1 in the fifth. That's been their 6 runs. And for Great Falls, it's just been 1 in the fifth and then that 3-run blast. The hits, however, are 8-7. Swing and a miss. Count goes to 2-2. Justin Coleman, the other closer for the Glacier Range Riders, finished it off last night It was a much more convincing lead, though, for the Range Riders, up 10-0, and he struck out the side in the top of the ninth. 2-2, no outs. Thomas on the mound, the South Bend, Indiana native. Fires it in there, and it's a swing and a miss from Colin Runge. Strikeout number 1 in the top of the ninth. Jake Malik steps in now. Malik 1 for 2 on the night. On the season, Malik batting .282. Dangerous when he gets on the base paths. Again, he does not represent a tying run. If he were to score, he would need some help to make this contest a little bit more interesting. Righty-lefty matchup should favor the left-hander Malik at the plate. First pitch misses the zone. Count goes to 1-0. Glacier scoreless since the 5th inning when they made it 6-1 after Mason Dennison forced an error out of the Voyagers defense. This one swung on and missed. Count goes to 1-1. Standing room only capacity at Flathead Field. The Range Riders fans have brought it tonight. 1-1, 1 out. Thomas sets. Dean Miller creeping in at third for a potential bunt or slow roller his way. Not coming there as a swing early on the pitch pushes it foul down the right field line. 1-2 is the count. Nathan Thomas sets on the mound, gets the sign from his catcher, and it is Austin Bates back in there doing the catching, so it was just a designated pinch hitter in when Livingston Morris came in. 1-2. Swung on and missed. Nathan Thomas, another strikeout, and there's 2 gone in the top of the ninth. The last chance for the Great Falls Voyagers tonight is number 3 batter, Braden Daniel. On the night, Daniel 0 for 4, a fielder's choice, a double play, a fly out, and a line out. It is loud here in Northwest Montana. First pitch in the zone, a called strike. Count goes to 0-1. Some fans choosing to step out of their seats and take a stand for the final couple pitches, or maybe just one more will be thrown. The 0-1 swung on to Mason Dennison. He grabs it at short, out of the sky. It's a line out for out number 3 and out number 27 in this contest. The Range Riders win their final game in 2022 at Flathead Field. They finish with a sweep over the Great Falls Voyagers to send all 2,600 fans home happy. Some fans are starting to make their way out, but I think some, like myself, are soaking in every second of this 2022 season. A standing ovation for the fans as they make their way into the dugout. The season is not over. There will be 3 nights of baseball at Centene Stadium in Great Falls, Montana. But the crowd here right now, we're going to get everybody out of the dugout to applaud this crowd, what they've been all season. Tip of the cap to the Flathead faithful. Your 2022 Glacier Range Riders, the first ever men to wear the Glacier jersey, and everybody in the stadium giving them some love to send them off on their final couple games on the road. Oh, man. See Dean Miller out there, Brody Wofford, giving appreciation to the fans. That club right there, the group of season ticket holders that are perched right next to the home dugout all season. I mean, those seats are always full. And, man, whether you've been to 0 games, whether you've been to 1 game, or whether you've been to all 48, I hope you understand the gravity of what has been done here at Flathead Field. "13 months ago today, it was only a dream to bring minor league baseball, professional sports to the Flathead Valley here in northwest Montana. It was in mid-August. News broke of the team announcing that they would come to the Flathead Valley, that they would enter the PBL season in 2022, and that they would be the first ever professional sports franchise in the most beautiful part of the country. I'll tell you what, all the way up into the bitter end, which I'm talking the bitter end was June 14th, hours before the gates opened, when I was stocking coolers. I was making sure to get the stats to the right people, making sure my broadcast worked on a little webcam that I had perched up on the dash in an unfinished room. I mean, from that moment, it was still unclear. Could this happen? Could you put together a stadium, a team, a franchise? Could you do that in the amount of time that the Range Riders have had? That question tonight was asked and answered resoundingly by the 2,600 plus that made their way out to Flathead Field to soak in the final game of the inaugural season for the Glacier Range Riders here at Flathead Field. Let me talk about some baseball real quick, and then I'm going to give out a few thank yous to all those who deserved to be thanked, because this is an incredibly challenging thing, like I just mentioned, and you know, in a small way, acknowledging those who have done crazy things and worked incredibly hard to make it happen. I think that's it definitely needs to be a priority, that those thanks need to be given out. But first, let me tell you about the baseball that happened here tonight. Dean Miller broke the scoring open with a 2-run home run in the bottom of the first. Then it was a Ben McConnell 2 RBI double down the left field line. Brant Broussard had an RBI single himself, and Mason Dennison forced an error out of the Great Falls Voyagers that scored Brody Wofford and made it 6 runs for the Glacier Range Riders. It was a Colin Runge score that was an error by Brody Wofford, and a Lucas Polanco 3-run jack that finished off the scoring for either side. 6-4, your final score. Obviously, Kevin Kyle coming out. He pitched a gem in the start. No earned runs against him. 6 innings pitched of hard work, and it was 5 strikeouts and 5 walks for Kevin Kyle. Laureano comes out with 1 inning pitch. John Natoli, he allowed that 3-run jack, but he was really solid with 3 strikeouts. And Nathan Thomas, of course, 2 Ks in the top of the 9th, and then the line out to Mason Dennison to finish off the win for the Glacier Range Riders. Quincy Jones went 4, allowed 5 earned runs. Anthony Becerra Lopez went 3 and allowed no earned runs. And Brett Laura pitched the final inning for the Great Falls Voyagers. 2 hits for Christopher de Guzman. He was the only multi-hit batter for the Voyagers, the Range Riders had 2 hits from Brant Broussard, 2 from Eddie McCabe, and that is all she wrote in terms of the multi-hit guys for the Range Riders. Dean Miller with 2 RBIs and Ben McConnell with 2 RBIs. They each had clutch hits to finish off their home schedule. 6-4, your final score here. First off, I just got to thank the playing staff as well as the coaching staff. I don't know if playing staff is the correct word, but let me start. My first thanks are to the players who came out here, and a lot of them kind of a last chance of their baseball career. Some of them drove across the country, long hours by yourself, going through the middle of the country, which is not as exciting as the end destination here in the shadow of Glacier National Park. But some players did that just to go on a dream and to say, this is a ballpark that is not even completed yet. This is a coaching staff where Nick Hogan had never coached professional baseball. And this is a team that is continuing to find its footing step by step in their inaugural season. To take that risk, absolutely incredible. The players, and on a personal note, thank you to all of them for being incredibly forthcoming, incredibly gracious, and allowing me to help tell their stories, whether it be on the baseball diamond, what they've done and what they are doing on the field in front of you, or maybe at times getting a little bit outside of that and letting myself shine a little bit of light on not just the baseball players that play for this Glacier Range Rider squad, but also the young men that are going on this tremendous journey and playing baseball out here in this brand new facility. To the coaching staff, which includes Nick Hogan, Mike Spears, Stu Peterson, and as well as some other coaches that started the season with the Glacier Range Riders. It has been incredible to watch those coaches. First of all, the actual coaching of it, Stu Peterson and Mike Spears, the work they put in to the individual players is incredible. How much they care about these guys and about giving these guys the 1, the 2, the 3 things in batting practice or in a bullpen session that can make them better. That understanding, that embrace of the love of making young men better players and better men, that has been truly great to see. And obviously Nick Hogan, the manager in charge, who, like a lot of these players, uprooted himself. His family traveled across the country from Georgia for him to be a part of this team, and it has not been easy. There have been games that have gone against him. There have been, players that he signed that he had big expectations for that didn't turn out the way he wanted. There's been all these little things, but it has amounted to a season that I think in the end can be looked back on and can be a proud moment, but it can be building block number 1 for turning this franchise into what I think it will be in the future. So thank you to the coaching staff as well. And then get to the front office and the people that have made this truly possible. Hannah and Leo Kelly. Hannah runs the concession stands, and she has done an incredible job, freshly graduated out of college, coming here and setting a bar for sometimes the work ethic needed at this minor league level. Not necessarily her expertise or her goals in life, but coming out and finding a way to get people hot dogs, get people pretzels, work with an incredible staff of concessions workers, a lot of them still in high school and making, making their money the hard way out here to sometimes, hot weather, sometimes, fans that, don't agree with them or give them a hard time. And Hannah and the concessions crew has done an incredible job. Leo, if you ever look at any piece of merchandise, Leo has had his eyes on it, and he has been a huge creator of that. Got to shout out Leo for what he's done, and also just in general, he's brought a lot of fans into this ballpark. Both himself and general manager Eric Moore have done an incredible job at finding a way to link with the fans and link the fans to this ballpark, and that segues me right into saying thank you to Eric Moore. He was the original guy who gave me the call that gave me this job, which is a dream job of sorts for me, to be able to call baseball in my hometown. He was the one I had the most discussions with coming into the season, and seeing his work ethic, but also his ability to keep a positive attitude amidst some craziness has been incredible. Heather Williams was brought onto the staff midway through the year. I mean, she's been here since day one, but she was brought on as a full-time staff member. She's done an incredible job. If you ever came to the stadium as a group member or in the suites, Heather Williams had a good say on how well you were treated up in the group. She was a big part of different fundraiser and teamwork events that we've had. Tonight we had, a fundraising opportunity that helped out Columbia Falls Baseball and get the funding that they need to hopefully start their baseball program to flying colors in the spring as high school baseball has come into the state of Montana. But Heather Williams done an incredible job. Uncle Dan in the kitchen, he cooks a lot of your brats and hot dogs. He's done great. And then, of course, Erin Sakara, who from day one when I came into the office, she recognized what I could bring to this team, and she truly believed in me since day one. And to Erin, I mean, the fans listening at home, you got to understand what she has meant to this franchise in the early going. Incredibly smart and talented and hardworking, and the Range Riders are incredibly lucky to have somebody like Erin on the staff who's taught myself so much, but everybody on this franchise, from top to bottom. Erin has had incredible answers for every question I've given her, and that's been the same experience for everybody that has interacted with her. And can't thank her enough for what she's brought to this franchise. And finally, the Kelly family, Becky, Chris, Marty, Sue, Kristen, I mean, everybody that's involved with making this franchise run. Thank you for having me be a part of it, and for, going out on a limb and saying, let's put professional baseball where professional baseball has never been before. It is an incredible, incredible honor to see that happen. And I hope the fans can, at some point find a way to have a personal conversation with the people that have made this dream a reality, because it is not a stadium that pops up overnight. It is far from that. It is not hot dogs that get made with a snap of a finger. Everything, the nitty-gritty of a professional baseball team, is hard work and rough nights and tough decisions, and the way Ridge Run Baseball and the Kelly family have made this happen as astounded me every day, and really no seat was put into the stadium, no bench was put into the dugout, no ad was put on the outfield wall without incredible thought, dedication, and intentionality from the people that call the shots here. Finally, thank you to the fans. Those of you who are listening, whether you're listening because your son played on this team, or whether you're listening because you're a Glacier Range Riders fan or a Great Falls Voyager fan. If you're still tuning in as a Great Falls Voyagers fan, I respect you a lot. But everybody that has come out, whether you're supporting by liking on social media, whether you are coming out to some games, whether you're, like I said, with fans at home, parents of the players, supporting through that way, and telling, your friends who maybe have a son that's looking at different leagues and realizing the Pioneer League is a viable option for a young player that has been slept on at the next level for one reason or another. Thank you so much for tuning in, for your support, your kind words through social media, through YouTube comments, through maybe in person. Like, it doesn't go unnoticed at all. Right now I'm forgetting one guy, Josh Nichols, done an incredible job at being a clubby down there. He just gave me a thumbs up from the field. He's been incredible in helping this place go round. Talk to Josh Nichols sometime if you want all those nitty-gritty ins and outs of professional baseball. And, him, like myself, it's hard work, but he also is living the dream. But, yeah, like I was saying, thank you so much to the fans. Whether you're in the stadium, whether you're cheering on from home, like, I can feel the energy that you bring to this game, to this team, to this amazing, amazing atmosphere and support. I mean, I can't wait to post the post-game graphic. I got to do that pretty soon here to capture some of that energy in that. But, man, it has truly been an honor to come into a season with so many question marks with a brand-new franchise. And the question marks have turned into exclamation points with the way that the fans have embraced and treated this team. And I can't thank everybody enough for continuing to tune in and show your support. As I mentioned in day one, I was born about 10 minutes from this stadium, and I've been all over the country calling baseball games, trying to work on my dream, and for me to help make this dream of professional baseball in the Flathead Valley a reality. I mean, you know, it's hard not to get emotional thinking about it, and this summer has been incredibly hard. There have been long work days from day one, and man, it has been amazing to see the result, especially with all the fans that packed this stadium and showed out tonight. And I can't wait to see the steps forward that this team, this franchise, and everybody makes in the offseason going forward to continue to celebrate this pinnacle of not just professional sports and sporting in the Flathead Valley, but a mecca for community in the Flathead Valley, where people can come together and, you know, can cheer, celebrate, clap, laugh, cry together. It's just amazing to see it, and I could talk for 45 more minutes, but I know some of you are listening on the East Coast, and it's past midnight there, so you got to get to bed. For one last time, my name is Scott Gladstone. So happy to bring you all 48 games of this season. The Glacier Range Riders win the final contest of 2022 at their home field by a score of 6-4. Please tune in to the broadcast on the road as the Glacier Range Riders finish out their season starting tomorrow at 7:05 from Centene Stadium. For all of us here at the Glacier Range Riders, the best production staff in the PBL, the best stadium staff in the PBL, and a group of players and coaches that are incredibly happy to have your support every night. My name is Scott Gladstone. Please have a great rest of your evening. And for the entire offseason, stay safe out there.